goodness, no. Well, that wouldn't do at all. Richard, Angela!
Oh, nails on a chalkboard, that woman.
She'd be crazy.
Welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes from 1970 onwards. I'm your host, Mike, and with me are my co-hosts,
Sam
and
Chad.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our handle is @ScreamStreamPod. Also, check out our website, screamsandstreams.com, for more information about the films we are looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend, especially for this movie, that you stop listening now, check out the film, and then rejoin us for our discussion. Today's film started a franchise, and it spawned 4 sequels and a massive fan website and cult following. We are looking at Robert Hiltzik's 1983 film Sleepaway Camp. It scored 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get into it. Sam, can you give us our plot summary, please?
All right. You said something about spoilers. I'm going to spoil this movie through this. So I was looking at the summaries, couldn't find one. And then I actually remembered I had texted my brother immediately after watching it, after the big twist at the end. And I said, do you mind if I spoil a movie for you? Because I have to talk to someone about this. And he said, you may, is what he replied. And then I was like, okay, I don't know how to begin, so buckle up. A dad and his 2 kids, a boy and a girl, are on a lake. They see a camp. The kids want to attend that camp. However, the dad and son get run over by a motorboat and die. Then it turns out the dad is in a homosexual relationship and there might be some child-on-child sexual abuse, ? Between the brother and the sister, ? In a flashback. The survivor kid gets adopted by an aunt who is also a crazy doctor. And now they have a boy cousin. The survivor goes to the camp they wanted to go to the day that their family died, with the cousin. There's a psycho killer at the camp who kills everyone who wrongs the survivor child. Keep in mind, it's 8 years later. So immediately, I'm like, obviously it's the survivor chick, Angela. So yes, I was right. However, that's not the twist. The twist at the end, with full frontal nudity, is that the surviving child from the boat accident was actually a son that the aunt was pretending was a girl. And so the surviving child actually has a penis and is also the murderer.
And there it is. Yeah.
That is what happens in this movie.
Because you can't have 2 boys in a family. No, that won't do. That won't do at all.
No. Yeah. So that's the big twist.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. We're now going to go into our sinister sip. And for the namesake of the male cousin, we are going with the Gin Ricky for today's cocktail from liquor.com.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. That's okay.
Not bad.
Good drink.
It's gin, lime juice, and soda water. Okay. Let's now get into our first impressions. Chad, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Trying to think of what to say because I didn't actually write down my first impressions. This is the second time I've seen this movie. The first time I saw it, I remember my reaction. I quite enjoyed it and was confused and a little disturbed at the end. I was just like, what? So yeah, it's got all the makings of the template of a horror, right? Of a slasher film at a camp, except for the old man's suits and shirts. Like that guy's clothes were...
Yeah, Mel's outfits were amazing.
Mel's outfits with the white boat shoes. Oh, I just kept thinking of Christmas Vacation, Uncle Eddie, with this guy. So I enjoyed the film and I enjoyed it the second time, but I think it's really a kind of a more of a one and done for me, just because of all the stuff that happens with it. Once it's all been revealed, it's just a cheesy slasher film with poor acting. So yeah, I still enjoyed it, but I put right at the end, I said, good, not great. So that's what I thought of Sleepaway Camp.
Fair enough. This is because there were 3 director commentaries, I'd say 5th to 8th time watching this movie.
Good Lord.
Wow.
I just listened to the commentaries. I didn't rewatch the movie, but the first time I watched this was the podcast How Did This Get Made was doing an episode on it.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, well, I got to check. I used to watch all the movies they did. And yeah, the first 20 minutes is hard.
Yeah.
Like with Aunt Martha and that, you're, what the hell is this like roller coaster or this ride we're going on? And then, yeah, I loved it and thought it was great. And the twist was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Blew me away. And so subsequently I kept trying to, I guess I've only seen it all the way through maybe 3 times because I would sit down with people like, you've got to see this movie. And I would hit play And at 25 minutes, they're like, I'm done. I can't. I'm like, oh, okay. So then we would like skip through to the kills and then get to the reveal at the end. And they're like, what? Oh my God. Now I want to see the movie. I'm like, yeah, right. You should have. And that happened like 3 times with 3 different groups of people. I'm like, yeah, you should have just trusted me and gone on the ride. And so rewatching it for this, Louise was with me and just
had she seen it before?
No. And she was shocked.
Yeah.
Just what? Yeah, so I have a special place in my heart for this movie. You're right, it's not easy to rewatch it once you've seen and know the twist, but I still like it for the fun that it is.
I think it is fun. It's just, I think once you're watching it by yourself, once that reveal has been made, it's like, it's okay. Maybe if I had a group of people when we were watching it together and they all got shocked, I would love it more, but I liked it. I just didn't love it. Yeah.
Sam, what was your first impression on this?
When I started watching the film, I couldn't remember if I'd seen it before. Like, it's camp. Like, you see tons of horror movies that are in camps. Like,
I believe there's 10 Friday the 13th that are all at a camp. Actually, one's in space. That is Ray. It's when you know you're grabbing at straws. It's like, where are we going to go now? Space.
Fucking space. The moon. So I was watching it. Obviously, I had never seen it because of the final reveal. I was screaming. I could not handle it. I was like, what the fuck? I like threw my phone up. I made my husband come up from downstairs. He was in the sauna. I made him come up and watch, and he was like, the fuck are you watching? Because I just showed him the last couple minutes. And he's like, what the fuck are you watching?
What is this?
I was like, you don't even understand. And I was like, and this happened. And then he's like, okay, cool. He went back to the sauna. And then I had to text my brother with the whole sequence of what happened. So I had not seen this film. I really enjoyed it, like even without the big reveal at the end. I thought it was okay. When you guys were like, you got to get past the first 25 minutes, I was worried about it, but I didn't find it offensive or boring when I was watching it.
I wouldn't say it's offensive. I just think it's kind of slow. It kind of plods along, and the acting is just really hard. Like
the girl, the water skiing girl just goes for broke.
Oh my God. She chews up that scenery like nobody's business. I've never seen anybody scream that much short of a shark attack. Help the people, oh my God. I was like, whoa, this girl is going for an Oscar. And then you get the crazy fucking mom who just yells all her lines. Every single line is just yelled, except when she does the little side note that's like, oh no, that won't do it all. And I was like, why is she yelling everything? I don't know.
I didn't find it that boring or awful. And mostly because they got run over by the motorboat, which I thought was also so dramatic. Not dramatic, but I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then so it was okay. I liked it. It was fun.
Right on.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. We're now going to look at our tropes Hall of Shame category, and I'm going to start us off. My first trope is just the killer's point of view. There's a lot of stalking and tracking. Yeah. And the trope, and I feel like I'm going to steal this from Chad, but they keep the camp going despite all the death.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them. Yeah.
All the death.
Well, let's just consolidate them into one bunk. It's like, Jesus Christ,
that's
they're all dying.
They were down to 24 kids.
I know.
Send them home.
I was like, well, at what time do you stop camp? I don't understand. Usually there's an accident and it's like, oh man, I guess we better think about what we're going to do. 2 accidents? You're shutting it down. But this was a different time.
Yeah, the parents probably didn't even know. You know what I mean? Now on social media, they'd be like, Mom,
kids would be
help.
Yeah.
It'd be rolling up.
Hello, Mata, hello, Fado would be a very different song.
This guy died. Can you come get me?
Things are weird.
Oh, they complain now. But when they come home, they'll be wanting to go back.
Awesome. All right, Chad, what were some of your tropes?
Oh, mine was the crazy mom. So, like, how many horror movies have we seen where somebody is traumatically affected by their not-so mom?
Yeah.
And then I also had the, I guess, kind of to go with the point of view, but the knife always coming up. I don't know why I'm showing this because this is an audio medium.
Great.
But
I like it.
the camera pans up, you see the knife come up, especially when bees get thrown into get thrown into the washroom there. Like the knife comes up and cuts the screen, and then the knife comes down the other side. So it just focuses on the implement of danger, I guess. And when Meg gets stabbed in the shower, we see the knife first, and then so just little things like that, kind of the shooting of it. Yeah, was my second one.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Sam, what were some of your tropes?
I had the killer POV and the shitty boss. So kind of both of what you already said, Mike.
Yeah, the shitty boss for sure.
Another trope that I had was not really a horror trope, but a geek in the outfield playing a game on their little handheld Casio calculator somehow.
Yeah, why do they call him Mozart?
No idea.
Because he has glasses? Like, there's no, like, reason. He's not playing music. He's not, like, they're not at band camp.
Nope.
He's not reading music. Like, they're just like, oh, Mozart's back there. It's like, what does that mean?
They were so mean. To him for no
They were,
reason.
like...
They pulls a knife.
Yeah.
And then...
And he chases him around. And I love how the counselor just comes in. It's like, come on, guys.
Tisk.
Now you get this back at the end of summer. It's like, the guy's pulling a blade on it.
But also is being relentlessly bullied.
Yes. Yeah. So Ricky kind of deserves it.
Yep. And then another sort of cluster of my tropes all had to do with like summer camp movies with, you know, the popular girl doesn't like the new girl. The summer camp girlfriend has moved on over the winter.
Yeah.
And then I'll just finish with, because it just drove me nuts when characters turn away to say something dramatic. When Angela's with Paul and they're like facing each other, but every time she has to say something, she like looks to the side.
Oh yeah. Like she looks off into the distance to actually contemplate what it. Yeah, no.
Chad, did you have another?
This is kind of going with the POV as well. The trope of sneaking up behind, the music is building, you see the hand come out, and then da-da-da, it's
Not
Buddy
the killer.
who's just trying to get with Angela. It's not actually the killer or anything like that.
Yeah.
And she turns around and says, oh, I thought you were the killer. He's like, oh, you don't believe in that, do you? They're just accidents. That's the other thing is nobody believes it.
Yeah.
And these guys are just dying like all over the place.
At what point?
At what point do you actually think it's a serious problem?
Buddy in the water. He just fell out of the canoe. That's all.
Yeah. And had some weird, like, that's not just a drowning. Did you see his face?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they panned up, like his eyes pulled down, his lips are like chewed up and stuff.
So it's all the water snakes reading him, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And that snake that's like a garter snake that comes out of his nose.
That's really weird.
Anyways,
So good.
those old aluminum canoes. Holy smokes.
I'll get you.
All right. We're now going to go into our one-liners. And Sam, you're going to start us off.
This was a conversation between Billy and Ricky. So Billy says, eat shit and die, Ricky.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ricky says, eat shit and live, Bill. And I really like that
Eat
one.
shit and live. So good.
Ricky's really ballsy for a kid who's like
Yes.
quite a bit younger than those.
Yeah.
Like those were just older boys attending, right? They weren't
Yeah.
counselors or anything, right? No, yeah.
The other baseball team was just all older kids.
Yeah. And
I had a comment in mine. I was like, or I guess it's a little bit later, but I was like, how old, like, what's the age group of these children? Because I
Yeah.
don't think this is okay. Like, it's like children, and like full on like grown ass men.
Yeah, like high
almost.
school almost.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the short, oh, we'll get it.
Yeah. Sam, did you have another line?
Yeah. So I had a couple that just had to do with the fact that Angela was never talking at all. So Meg goes, what's her problem anyway? She don't eat. She don't talk. She don't do anything. And Ricky goes, why don't you just leave her alone? She's just quiet. And then Meg says, if she were any quieter, she'd be dead.
Yeah.
Oh, and they laugh
Yes.
like crazy on that line. I was like, that's not even that
No,
funny.
it's not funny at all. It's not at all.
And I guess that's another trope that I could bring up because I mentioned that before is like a lot of times in horror movies, they tell these jokes, especially when kids are teasing other kids. And it's like the writers are so disconnected. It's like people don't talk like that or laugh like that about stupid lines like
Yeah.
that. If someone said that to me and my buddies at high school, we'd be like, what the fuck? You were the dumbest person.
Shame.
Anyways.
All right. Chad, what were some of your lines?
I had, this is Judy, and this is doubled up because I mentioned this one again. She's a real carpenter's dream. Flat as a board and needs a screw.
I really like that line.
Oh man, I liked it too.
I
I also have when Ronnie comes down and the reveal is made. And Ronnie's got that kind of weird Brooklyn Italian accent. I'm not sure what accent he's going for there, but he's like, how can it be? And then Angela is revealed to be male. She's fully naked and has a bloody knife clutched in her hands. And he's like, my God, it's a boy. She's a boy. Yeah, not it's a boy. She's a boy. Yeah, and the way it's delivered and stuff, I was just, oh my God.
My God.
My God.
Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, so those are my two.
I struggled with whether or not I was going to include this one, but it's Artie, when the first time we meet him, when the kids are all running into the camp. Mm. And he's the disgusting cook, and they like.
Oh man, I couldn't put any of his lines down. They're so gross. But go ahead.
Because they really need to sell that he deserves.
They just hit it over the head like this guy's evil. Yeah.
So as these kids are all running into the camp, and the cooks are all there, he's like, "Look at all that young, fresh chicken. Where I come from, they call them baldies. Makes your mouth water, doesn't it?" And then the other cook is like, "Oh, they're all too young." He's like, "There's no such thing as being too young. You're just too old." And I was like, how is this the way you introduce anybody?
And then he laughs about it. Robert Earl Jones laughs about it. They're like, "Oh, you're such a silly guy." It's like, oh my God.
You're just a cad.
But the way they do it as well, like, I mean, his lines are disgusting.
Yeah.
But that guy, like, he went hook, line, and sinker. He's got that little piece of grass that he's chewing on. And they go in close. He's got kind of bad teeth and he's all messed up from cooking, like that white chef's. Like, he just looks horrible.
Yeah. So gross. I said in my notes, it's like, ew.
Yeah.
That guy's gross.
I know. I it's funny because Kathy rarely watches the horror movies with me. And when they showed him, she's like, "Oh yeah, he's the first to die." You kind of.
In the director's commentary, like all three commentaries, they kept mentioning like Owen Hughes, the actor, like phenomenal.
Yeah.
And was like the gentlest, kindest soul on set, and would like keep to himself and just read and be quiet, like just very different from
what that character was. Yeah.
I was like, did they just include that every time to be like, he's not
actually a pedophile. He's a nice guy.
And then my next line, it's at the dance. It's like, "Yo, Angela, why are you so fucked up?"
Yeah.
That's my last one.
Yeah. I
know. Sorry, I stole your last one, Sam.
Oh, no, that's okay. It's a good one.
Yeah. Chad, did you have any others?
It kind of speaks to, teenage boys and stuff like that. Well, when Paul like turns to Rick and is like, "Hey Rick, did you check out Judy?" And then he like throws out his arms like her breasts have gotten bigger over the year, and it's like, you're gonna be loving Judy when you see her. And I was like, all right. I did have one more, and I'll end it here. I don't know the camper who's the red-haired guy who's kind of the jackass that goes into with the bees.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what
I can't remember
his name was.
Is it Billy? It's not that one.
Oh, there's got to be a Billy. There has to be a Billy. I'm sure three of those of that group were named Billy.
Well, it might be because that's the eat shit and die Ricky.
Yeah, that's I was thinking,
yeah. His was like, he's running in there looking for comic books, and the guy is like, "What do you got? What are you doing?" And the crew says, "Oh, we're going to go play a game out on the field. I'll meet you out there. I just got to take a massive dump.
I got to take a wicked dump."
Wicked dump. And then he goes in there and he gets annoyed. He's like, "You can't even take a shit in peace." And he's taking that the comic book in there. Like he's going to have a session. Like, anyways, that's it. I'm done. Those are my liners. Yeah.
And I'll finish off with just two more. The morning after the drowning with the boat, the canoe, And the lifeguard, I guess, is
Yeah.
out there and he's cleaning up all the chairs. He's like, these peckerheads suck.
The lifeguard is amazing.
Yeah.
Like he does a one-liner to Judy where it's like, "You guys are prickheads" or something like that.
Hates his job.
Just hates kids.
And then my last one is more just because of the delivery. It's when they're taking the body away and Mel's like, no, he bumped his head and drowned. And the cop's like, I don't think so. Wasn't any bumps or bruises when I checked. Though again, I'm no expert on the matter.
Yeah. And then Mel right away, there you go. It was an accident. He fell out of the boat. That's what you said, right, officer?
I also like as soon as they took out the like gross chef or whatever,
Yeah.
he's like, what's the prognosis? It's like, not good.
Yeah.
Like, all his skin's burnt off. Like,
He has blisters that are forming still.
he's not.
As he screams.
He's like literally being carted into the ambulance. What's the prognosis?
And I love his arm bumps the door.
Yes, I was just going to say. And then the guy like pushes his arm in. Like any touch would just be like...
So bad.
I looked over at Kathy. She was still there at that time. And I just said, you'd think they'd give him some kind of narcotic to knock him out. Like,
Still screaming.
Yes.
Oh, so good. So
man.
good.
That was a good one, Sam.
All right. We're now going to move into our what doesn't hold up. And Chad, you're going to start us off.
Oh, well, my first one is the acting. It's very after school special. Like the time where Paul talks to Angela. He's like, "Hi, Angela. How are you?" And she doesn't talk. And he's like, "I really want to." Like, oh my God. It was just so vanilla.
Yeah.
And then the mom with her yelling acting, it was too over the top for me.
Yeah.
The counsel. Yeah. Just the acting was poor. I'd say the best actor of the lot and the one that I hated the most was the cook. Like I thought he did a fantastic job of being that greaseball, but everybody else was just kind of like amateur.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my big one.
Do you have another?
I had one that was again about the bee attack when he's trying to get out of the stall there. I mean, that kid is kind of an athlete, a little bit bigger. I just didn't buy the fact that locked him into the bathroom. Yeah. And he's pushing on it and he's yelling, "Somebody help me, somebody help me." And I was like, I think you could break that.
You should have been able to kick that down.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't buy that death. So
I had that one as well.
Sam, what else did you have that doesn't hold up?
So mine was just like the pedo jokes is
yeah,
not cool. It's uncool. I said the clothes.
Yes, I had the clothes.
I had so many notes on them, but like the boys and
The
the
jorts?
the crop tops.
Yeah.
Oh, the crop top was great.
I love
the
it.
one counselor with his hairy laugh.
I also loved the fishnet shirt, the old blue one at the
Yes.
social. I was just, oh my God, this guy is wearing everything.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I had the clothes as well.
Just so many choices.
My first doesn't hold up was the camp owner Mel Costa just leching on all the girls. And like,
is it all the girls or is it
Mostly-
just Meg?
it's mostly Meg.
Mostly
Mostly
Meg.
Meg.
Yeah. But just
Meg.
Yeah.
M-E-G.
It's from Family Guy.
And another doesn't hold up for me, the bad stoned acting.
Oh,
Before the skinny dipping scene.
when they were all just giggling.
Yeah.
Oh, I have something about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chad, we'll go back to you for another doesn't hold up.
Well, it was the clothes, but it was the muscle-bound guy.
Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie with all his like matching shorts and stuff. And I guess he was like the leader camp counselor.
Seemed to be like the counselor in charge or something.
Yeah.
Like the counselor.
There was that. And then there was also, I know it was a different time, but if two kids of the group want to leave and you're there with three other kids, four other kids, you're not leaving those four just in the woods to take these guys back to the car, back to the camp, and then come back. Like, you're not just ditching these guys on super. I don't care what year it was. No. you're not ditching those guys to go take these guys back.
Yeah.
They were like little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. And I didn't understand that that killing, but that we probably talk about that later. But
yeah, it's my what the fuck.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't buy that, so that doesn't hold up for me. I didn't understand why they got slaughtered and why he would leave in the first place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Right. Sam, what else didn't hold up for you?
The cop's mustache at the end.
Oh,
was
that's
amazing.
Oh yeah, I know.
I was
It's
like-
super fake. Yeah.
It's like my whole notes is just like
His Groucho stash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what in the fuck is on that guy's face?
And yeah, it's because he had a different role, so he shaved it, and then they called him back to shoot, and he's like, I had to shave my mustache. So like, what?
Well, but
Vinyl.
Yeah.
No
I
one knows.
assume that's what happened because when we saw in the first one, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
And then they did a close up, like they should have done a soft focus, far back
Yeah.
shot of him. We're not zooming in on the mustache,
Not
here.
right under the porch lights.
It was hilarious.
It was laughably bad,
Yeah.
that mustache. Yeah.
So that was my first. Another one I had was, why are the cops delegating these tasks to teenagers? Like, why are the teenagers I guess that's a trope in itself.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
And then also on that note, just sending one cop for a mass murder. Like,
Yeah.
it's like there's all this death and anyways.
All right, we got Officer Stadenko over here. He's gonna take charge. He
Shows
comes
up
in with
a
his
mustache.
fake mustache and a huge light.
Just solve this murder, guys.
All right. My last two, just Meg's death, being stabbed through that shower, and then the slash down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nobody's strong enough to cut through the shower and back. And and like, as if she would keep her back to the wall. Like,
Just
I've been
stands
stabbed. I won't step forward.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and something really hurts, but I'm gonna stay against the wall where the implement is still in me.
And it'll cut through all my ribs.
That was a pretty badass incision. I don't think, like, when you see her body fall forward, which is another thing.
We've missed on the tropes.
Yeah, because they wait until old Mel comes in there and he's looking for her, and then she basically jumps out of the shower. And then it's just this thin cut.
Yeah.
Like, if that big blade sawed down your back, I would think it'd be a little less pretty.
Yeah.
A little paper cut across the spine.
Down to the ow.
Scalpel was searching like precision. Yeah. And then my last one, just I didn't know whether to put it in what the fuck or doesn't hold up, but Mel beating the shit out of Ricky.
Oh yeah,
Like, was just hard to watch. I know this is like, there's a lot of hard to watch this movie, but it was like watching an ape like beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. He just rained blows upon him. While yelling at him, "You killed her!" All this stuff.
Yeah.
You killed them to destroy me, didn't you? Didn't you? I'm sorry, and I just noticed one, the gaping mouth at the end.
Oh,
I think I had that in gratuitous.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It was a lot.
yeah, it was.
So then let's transition to our most gratuitous scene. And Sam, you want to keep talking about the gaping mouth?
That's all I had about it. It lasted too long.
It's the
What's going on
longest
with
ever.
the lights?
Yeah.
The reveal was enough. You didn't need the.
I didn't eat the
Yeah.
as I'm screaming watching it. I had a couple things for this. Meg soaping of her neck in the shower.
Oh,
She
yeah.
cleaned her neck
I had
for
that. Yeah.
the longest time.
Her little singing. I was like, "What the fuck song is that?" And she's like, "Do do 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 do." And I'm like, who showers like this?
That's the cleanest neck I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Those are my first two.
All right, thank you. For me, mine was the size of the corn pot,
Yep. I had
Oh,
that
that
too.
was
Yep.
massive. Yeah.
made special for the film, apparently.
I
Oh.
can believe it. I've never seen it pop
Never
that
seen
big.
anything that big. Yeah.
Chad, what did you have?
I had the opening credits. I've never seen so many cross dissolves and slow panning shots in an opening credit scene. It just went from one scene, cross dissolve into the next scene, pan shot, cross dissolve into the next one. At one point I said, how many fucking pans are we going to have through here? Like, it just went through every inch of that camp.
Yeah.
And it was just way too long. And I thought it was overdone.
Yes.
Like, we only need one establishing shot. We're at Sleepaway Camp. which was established in the beginning of the fucking movie.
By the title.
The kids want to go to that camp. We don't need 100 shots of this. Anyways, that's it.
All right.
That was just,
Thank
gratuitous.
Okay. And Sam, what was another one of your gratuitous scenes?
My last one was Judy being penetrated with the curling iron.
Oh,
the hot
yeah.
curling iron.
Yeah.
That was tough to watch, I thought. Ugh.
Yeah, that was
That's-
the sizzle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was rough.
That was
yeah.
brutal. Yeah.
Yeah,
And, like-
she died the worst way by far.
Yeah. And they like really sell that it's warm because they show that it's burned the blanket on the
Yeah.
bed when,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was disturbing.
Yeah, it was.
Ugh. Well, crossing over from
Moving on. Yeah.
It was really funny.
As we all take a beat to process that fucking scene.
Take a sip of gin.
and then carry it into our terrifying or titillating section.
Oh, what a timely category.
Yeah. Not titillating for me, but I'm sure some people might enjoy it. And Louise pointed it out. Ronnie's tight shorts.
That's mine. That's what I had to.
Louise like, you can see his penis.
That's
like-
what I wrote.
It's like Prince Humperdinck and the Princess Bride. It's just like super balls tight.
I said, ooh. It's my note.
Ooh.
So- that's all it says in my note is ooh. And then it's like, I like Ronnie's outfit.
Yeah! It's funny how I say that doesn't hold up, and Sam's like, I like that outfit. Looking good, Ronnie. Feeling good, Sam. Jesus Christ.
Awesome. All right. So that was Ronnie your titillating comment?
Yes.
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 Yes, he was.
Oh, man.
And then my other one was just so weird. Mozart reading the skin mag and falling asleep in the bunk. Like, it just was so gross. I'm like, teenage boy reading a porno mag
With
and-
everybody around.
with everyone around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not want to walk in a room and be like, oh, he was alone with it.
Ronnie, are those happy tissues or sad tissues?
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Not Ronnie, Mozart.
Mozart,
Sorry. It was
yeah.
Mozart. Ronnie was a different guy.
Okay, we're now going to go into our stood the test of time. And Chad, what stands the test of time from this movie for you?
The most disturbing one, I think, is the cook scene. Like when he gets that pot pulled down on him. I've seen the movie and I still cringed. I was like, ugh. And then it holds on him for so long as he's screaming and blistering. And I don't know. I have a real fear of like being burned alive. Like I just think it would just be so painful for those seconds that your nerves feel all that stuff. But he doesn't die. That's the worst part of it. Like it gets pulled down on him. And that doctor really sells how much pain he is in, right? He's like, every nerve ending is screaming at this point. It's like,
Prognosis isn't good.
wouldn't want to be good. Wouldn't want to be him. And it's like anyways, I thought the makeup was well done for the burning and the pustules that were forming while he's screaming. Like it was just very disturbing and well done for a horror film. So I thought that one really sold it for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. My first test of time, just because I liked it and thought it was funny, and I remember it from when I was in high school, the impossible sit-up gag.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you watch that, and Louise like, do they do this? Are boys that stupid? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, they do. And we think it's hilarious. Every time. And then my next test of time was Ricky's swearing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He like, it's just amazing. His insults are so good.
You fucking cocksucker when he's on the
bl-
shed or when they're
on the roof?
On the
Why are they
roof.
on the roof? Devin, where's the adult supervision?
There is none.
There's none.
They're all dying.
They're all dead.
But like, how do they get away with that filmmaking? Like, just dance around and throw water balloons at each other. Please don't fall off. Action.
Yeah. It's a different time.
Yeah.
Occupational health and safety was not like Paramount to make these films.
really not.
Well, and I love how they hit Angela with the one balloon and she just sits down.
Yeah.
And then everybody runs over. Are you okay? It's a fucking water balloon.
She's
Like, come on. And he's like, you better get changed before you
Get
get pneumonia. It's a fucking water balloon in the summer.
Oh,
Anyways, I'm starting to rant more as we go on to this. I did actually like the film. I just
all right. Sam, what was some of your test of time?
I also had the burnt hands and skin and how well done they were. Chad, when you were talking about being scared of burning alive.
Yeah.
I went to school with someone who pulled down a pot of deep oil.
Oh,
on there, and
God.
They burnt all down their chest. And so that's what this reminded me of. And so I think, the fear of that happening and like my kids around the stove and stuff like that, totally real.
Yeah.
And then, so I said the hands and the skin, the pustules were really good. I also thought the deaths were like pretty creative for the most part. Like there were quite a few little slasher knife ones, but they had different ones. I said the death by bee was funny. And then my last one is just the insult pecker head as a whole. I think it's hilarious. I think it's so funny.
I just had like I didn't bring this up in Doesn't Hold Up, but it was I just had it like, what kind of bees were those that he threw it in there? And when he came out of that stall, like his arm looked like it was like bot flies had been in it. Yeah. Like all those holes and stuff like that. And then his face, like it just seemed, although it was a creative way to die, it just seemed, if he was allergic to bee stings, then I think it would have been.
I just assumed he was.
Yeah. But they didn't set that up. No. Like if Ricky, got him by a bee or whatever, and he was like, fucking, I'm allergic, or got mad or something. And then she heard that, like, that
would have made more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that she just threw it in there and he was like, let me out. And then
with the little stick in
the little broom hat. With those little tiny screws on the handle. That I was. Anyways, that was my question for that. I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Right. My last test of time is an insult. Just like I was going to put it in a line. I'm like, no, this guy blows dead dogs during the baseball. It's like, holy shit.
That was the most heated, like,
oh, I know,
heated baseball game I've ever seen in my life, and unnecessarily so.
Yeah, and they've got to spend all summer like that. Rivalry is just going to grow from there.
Yes, I was like, and it reminded me of the volleyball scene in Carrie, like where it was just so unnecessarily high stakes. It was crazy.
For third period possession.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a new category that we're adding, and I mean, a lot of this movie fits this category. It is our laugh out loud moments. Chad, what was your laugh out loud moment?
Well, my laugh out loud moment was Judy's line that she, a real carpenter's dream, flat as a board and needs a screw.
Yeah.
I started to chuckle at that. And then I had a laugh, and this might just be me, but when they got into the canoe and they started paddling, it was the worst paddling I've ever seen anybody do in a canoe.
It's like they were on a track.
Yeah, totally. It was going the one way, and you could tell like the paddle is like just barely hitting the water. They're holding it weird, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. They're like going nowhere. Anyways, that was my LOL moments.
All right. My laugh out loud, just because it was ridiculous, but like the skinny dipping. Like, who wants to go skinny dipping with 15 guys and 5 girls?
Yeah.
And then the guys still all go skinny dipping anyway.
The girls are like, I don't think I'll go. It's like, you guys don't know how to have fun. They all running, laughing, and playing in the lake.
Sam, what part of this movie made you laugh out loud?
I didn't actually have anything written for this category.
Because the movie was too good. No. Silence.
Yes, that's why.
All right. We're now going to go to our eerie to ear splitting. And I'm going to start us off. For me, it was an ear splitting. It was the musical crescendo when Paul kisses Angela.
Oh, yeah.
And like both kisses like build up to this like, Jesus Christ. Chad, what was eerie or ear splitting for you?
Mine was the beginning. Again, with the opening credits, that big build kind of scream or trumpet thing that started it off, and we're like, it just builds and then gets to this one point where the credits come in. and then it's cheesy music as it's panning through the camp. So that was ear splitting to me. Yeah.
And Sam, you didn't have anything for this category?
I didn't have anything written in it, but I do have my notes, Chad, the exact same thing. I was like, what is this music in the opening credits?
Yeah.
And all the voiceovers and the dub, like, yeah.
It was weird.
Well, and I had it fairly loud, I think, at the start, and it just started going up and up, and I was like, oh my God, I was just trying to turn it down. Shh.
Awesome. All right, thank you. We're now going to go to our what the fuck moments. And Sam, what made you say what the fuck?
What made you say what the fuck in this film?
I screamed at the dick reveal. I was actually screaming at the TV. So that was like the biggest what the fuck. I knew who the killer was.
Yeah.
I got that, but I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the biggest what the fuck, I think. I had a couple others. The child on child sexual assault was weirdly just in there in a weird like dream sequence haze, which is kind of a trope as well.
It just was really kind of tacked on, right?
Yeah.
Like they just threw it in there. This could have almost like this could have happened, but she's remembering.
Yeah.
It was just,
or he's remembering.
It was just weird. And I just, in my note, it's like, what? What was that? Like,
I didn't get it because you see the dads and the two kids are giggling at the doorway, like Peter, who's Angela, and his sister. And then it cuts to like Peter pointing, and it's like, I was like, are they revealing like the I'm in you? Because I knew the reveal. And
they're both in the bed staring. It was just.
I got that they were just experimenting with each other. Like that's what they were doing, what the dads were doing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was going to get to that point.
Yeah.
So that's what I read out of it. I could be wrong, but that's.
Yeah. So that was a what the fuck is like what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Chad. What were some of your what the fuck moments?
Well, obviously the ending when I first watched it, I was like, I believe I said, what the fuck? I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then there was, what's the guy who took the girl out in the canoe? He had the mullet. He was one of the boys that hung out.
Might have been Kenny.
Sure.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it's Kenny.
Okay. So Kenny takes this girl out, and first of all, I don't know what the end goal for Kenny here was, because he was being a total jackass. Like, is he trying to kiss this girl, or is he trying to like get with her? Because she's already, kind of nervous about being out there. Mm-hmm. And then he tips the boat over after she says, no, don't do it. He watches her swim away and then goes under the boat and calls her name. And I was like, what the fuck? You watched her swim away. You know she's going to shore. Why are you still hanging out under the aluminum boat asking where are you? It's like, I didn't. That was a confusing scene to me. So those were my first two.
All right. Thank you. I've doubled up with a couple of the other what the fuck so far, but the other one I had, we've already talked about, but killing the 4 kids just because they kicked sand at Angela. Like the other stuff, not that they deserve to die, but like,
oh, is that why they died?
Yeah, because if you remember when she gets thrown in the water, and then when her and Ricky are coming up the pier and she gets to the beach, those boys like flick sand at them.
Oh, I didn't realize those were the same ones.
I didn't realize that either. I didn't think those were the same boys. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had in my notes, I was like, those kids are jerks. Like, why are they kicking sand? And then.
Well, now their death makes sense.
Yeah.
Slaughtering them in their sleeve bags is disproportionate.
With the hatchet.
Yeah. I thought their death was like.
A little much. Yeah. I did too.
There's the curling iron. Yeah.
And they got like butchered.
Yeah. Like there was nothing recognizable in that scene. Yeah. So that was my what the fuck. Sam, do you have another one?
We already talked about it. It was just like getting run over by the boat was like a what the fuck. Like,
why
don't they move? Like it's clear. Like what? I don't know what to do.
Turn the boat.
Turn like the slightest little bit of the steering wheel. Like,
I did love they try and then whoops.
It just pins it, and then and then you heard the thump when it hit the dad. Right? It's like. And then everybody just stands
and screams.
And,
the one
and watches what's happened.
Yeah.
Like they're like, aren't people going to go help them?
I might have been frozen too. Like I can't imagine what was left in that water.
But you think the lover would have jumped in and tried to swim out to help his lover? Like I don't know. Maybe not. Somebody save the children. Anyway.
And then Chad, what was your what the fuck?
Well, my other what the fuck, and I've talked about it before, were the bees. It was like how did that
Yeah.
sting, like make him look like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. We're now going to go to our back it up moments. And Chad, what was your back it up?
My back it up moment, because it was so funny, was the mustache. I backed up the reveal of the mustache because I was like, what is that on his face? And then I backed it up again and I was like, oh my God, it's like a $20 Don's Hobby Shop Velcro.
I didn't even realize it was the same cop from before.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Who's this guy?
No, it was pretty crazy. So yeah, that was my back it up. I didn't really back up the reveal. I didn't think it needed it, but I mean, it was shocking.
Yeah. And for me, my back it up was as kind of bad as it was and ridiculous, but the boat accident is my back it up.
Oh,
Just because how over the top it is and
Yes.
insane.
Yeah.
And then on the How Did This Get Made podcast, they spend like a good 20 minutes trying to deconstruct what exactly are the relationships. And then
Yeah.
someone took 5 minutes of that discussion and they did an animated, and they took the audio of the podcast and made an animated clip of it. So I've watched that a few times. So I have watched that boat accident many times. And Sam, nothing in this movie made you want to back it up.
No. Like I did back up the reveal to show my husband because I was screaming. He was so displeased.
yeah.
All right. We're now going to go into our hiding in the shadows. So Sam, what do you have hiding in the shadows?
I just wanted like a map of the camp. Like it just seemed
Yeah.
very confusing. And yeah, so that was weird to me. Like it looked humongous. Like there were so many kids there.
Yeah.
And then I just said, who the hell hasn't played Capture the Flag before?
Oh, that was mine.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
I even wrote, are we going to listen to all the rules of Capture the Flag? Like,
Pretty self-explanatory. It's in the name.
Yeah.
Just get the flag.
yeah.
Brilliant. One of mine was, and this one just bothered me, like they're spending the entire summer at camp and yet everyone just has an overnight bag. Like
Yeah.
Ricky and Angela just carry that out their door. And then every kid comes running off the bus with just an overnight bag. And yet in the cabins, they're full of all their clothing and that. So
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get that.
Yep.
And then the next one I had was just the money he offers to the kitchen staff to like keep it quiet.
$50 an extra week.
Yeah.
And 15 to everybody else.
Yeah. And so I was like, what is that with inflation? Just to see.
Oh, I Googled that too.
Oh,
That's
nice.
one of my bonus features.
So it was an extra $136.85 a week to Robert Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And then the other staff got $40.84 extra a week. So over a summer, it's an extra $1,000 for Robert Earl Jones, an extra $320 for the kitchen staff. Which isn't bad, but like, would that keep me quiet about the death of my coworker? I don't know.
But he didn't die. He just got burned and they called it an accident.
Yeah.
Right? So, and there was no proof it wasn't an accident.
True. Yeah. Okay.
And he was like pretty
Shitty.
gross.
Yeah.
He was a pretty
Yeah.
shitty human. So
Fair enough. Okay.
Like he even said it, and he inappropriately laughed, but he's like, he was a bad guy, or he
Yeah.
had some bad moments or something. Like
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
And Chad, what did you have for shadows?
Well, I just had a question. It's like, when the kids get off the bus, that is the most unorganized shit show I've ever seen. They've got Mel and Ronnie out there shouting at kids what's going to happen throughout the day, while 150 screaming children are running off the
full
buses
speed.
full speed with their bags, and they're like, all right guys, we're gonna get you to go into the cabins, and then after that we're gonna have a meet and greet at the it's like, who's fucking hearing any of this?
Nobody cares.
Nobody's listening to you. We got a big full day planned, and everybody's already swimming.
In the fucking lake, where's the lifeguard?
I know, like nothing. It's just total chaos.
Well, it's so funny because you do so many field trips.
Yes.
It must have been like,
So when you watch that, you're just like, this is horrible.
this is not going well.
Like I repeat stuff 2 or 3 times, almost ad nauseum, until the kids are like, enough, we
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
And they still get it wrong.
And they still ask me questions. And they're not running down the hill full speed. Yeah, it was crazy. My other thing is, what is the attraction to Meg and this old fucking guy? Like,
Power.
why?
No idea.
Every time she comes in and he hugs her, Like there is obviously they set up this weird kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And then she comes up and says, "Hey, I've got the night off. Why don't we go to your
For that dinner that
for
you
that
promised
dinner
me.
you
Yeah.
promised me?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay." And it was just, ugh. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't understand. And what power? It's a camp.
He's a
Like,
camp
the guy's
owner.
a greasy camp owner.
Mm.
Has a cigar in every scene. Like, I don't know. I just didn't get that.
Yeah.
It wasn't established well enough for me to
Yeah.
think that Meg, I would have seen it if she was hitting on Ronnie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would have
Um,
also hit on Ronnie. Not gonna lie. I too.
Or even Fuzzy Britches there with the fuzzy abs. Like
Yeah.
like any other dude I would have bought. But for her to go like try to get with Mel just didn't make sense to me.
And it was so crazy that Mel came looking for her.
Yes.
Like, take the
Yes.
L and could and keep quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
She's not coming, bro.
yeah, exactly. It's,
Mel looking for her was one of my shadows because like Judy's in the cabin. Mel just walks in without knocking to
Yeah.
a girl's cabin.
Yep.
Like, is Mel in here? Like,
yeah.
you don't know. Girls could have been changing, and it was just
Yeah.
weird. And then my last one for the shadows, and I think it's this. I can't even remember the scene, but they're loading bodies into an ambulance at one point, and Mel and the copper in the foreground. I think that's what's happening, but in the background, Ronnie's in the middle of a field just lifting weights, like just doing
Yeah.
girls.
It's just in the background. Yeah, I
He's gotta
did see
keep
that.
his
Yeah.
physique up.
Yeah, yeah.
He's-
Well, I get that he needs
His
to work.
sleeveless.
Got to get that pump. Yeah.
He's wearing sleeveless tops,
But he's-
sleeveless crop tops the entire summer. He's got to look good.
But like, I just love the idea of like he's found the weights. He's now carried them 50 yards into the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Here's where I will do it.
Well, I gotta be around in case they ask me questions, so I'll just get a pump while I'm
He's got
there.
to get a tan.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any others from you guys for this category?
I had one which I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know if it's hiding in the shadows or where it goes, but when Mel comes in to look for Meg and Buddy has to jump down, I missed one of my quotes, which was Judy like pushing the blonde guy off and saying, "It's like, why do you kiss so wet?" And then she just goes right back in.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever, just, dial it back a bit. And then she makes him hide under the bed. And then he leaves and she's ready to go. And he's putting his shoes on. He's like, "Nah, I think we're going to get caught," and gets so mad at him.
Yep.
Yeah.
She is a scorned woman
Yeah.
at that point. Yep.
Just yelling and screaming at him as he leaves the bunkhouse. Yeah, it was, I just thought it was pretty funny.
We're now going to go into our bonus features, and I'll start us off. So the budget of the movie was $350,000, and the box office was $11 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it did quite well.
Wow, yeah.
And then for that scene just around Artie in the kitchen, it said, in order to protect the 13-year-old Felissa Rose in the scene of Artie attempting to molest Angela, they first filmed the reaction shots of her backing away, and then Artie's coverage when she was offset. So they weren't in the room together. Yeah, she didn't know what was happening in the scene until she saw the finished film.
Huh.
And she was kept away from most of the graphic death scenes that were being shot. So, yeah. Sam, what were some of your things you found?
Just to kind of build on that. So since she was only 13 and you said she didn't see it until she actually saw the film back, she actually wasn't allowed to see her own movie in theaters because she was so young. So that was one of them. In the skinny dipping scene, for that particular scene, the production schedule was actually pushed back farther into the fall. So when they filmed at 1 a.m., it was obviously very, very cold. A couple of them were really, really shy and they only actually show their butts on the camera. But the other guys they all had to be like completely naked. It was also supposed to be a closed set, but someone forgot to tell the locals. So there was people having picnics and lawn chairs during that scene. So there was a whole bunch of naked guys bouncing in freezing water. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Thank you. Chad, what did you have?
I had Willie Kuskin, who plays one of the bullied campers, was genuinely bullied by the other kids during filming. Frank Trent Saladino, who was Ronnie, played the camp counselor, had to step in when the other cast members took things too far.
Oh.
So he didn't really have a good time.
Was that Mozart?
I believe so, yeah. This is also Mike Kellen's final film. He was sick during filming, but did his best to conceal it. He died of lung cancer in August of 1983, 3 months before this film's release.
Oh.
So mine were a little depressing. So
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'll lighten the mood, and then I have one that kind of turns as well.
Okay.
So I'm surprised we didn't talk about it during the movie, but the cowboy hat that Ricky wears into the social.
Oh yeah, that big thing. Yeah.
Jonathan Tiersten, the actor, did not want to wear it because it kept falling off and it was so big. But the director was like, "No, you have to." And then in the director's commentary, he talked about like it was an homage to old westerns where they would like knock someone's hat off as a challenge.
Oh.
So he wanted Ricky to be challenged by someone knocking his hat off his head.
Okay.
So
It was massive for him.
Yes.
It did not fit his head.
No.
And then the other one I had was just about the person that stood in for Felissa Rose as the reveal,
Yeah.
the naked man, has remained anonymous to this day. The actor was a local college kid who was paid a couple $100 to play the role after parental complaints from Felissa Rose's mother about having her daughter wear a prosthetic penis for the scene. As a result, they had to make a mask of Felissa Rose's face for the actor to wear. And so for the scene, the actor had to be completely shaved, stand on a beach on a freezing cold night, wear the mask of a 13-year-old girl, and had to be naked for the scene as well.
Oh.
He drank several beers to calm his nerves. When the time came to do the scene, the poor guy was overwhelmed with stage fright, and he broke down crying.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was consoled and comforted by the cast. And he's never claimed that was him to this day. And out of respect, the filmmakers have not revealed who it was either, but poor guy.
Yeah. So that's why it looked so weird.
Yeah.
And when it transitioned, like they do the close-up shot, and then when they did the full reveal, I was like, there's like something really off about how this all looks. It doesn't blend. Like the face and the body just didn't. Yeah.
Sam, did you have any more?
Yeah, I just had one last one. When casting for the role of Angela, the director would actually have the actresses just stare wide-eyed and straight ahead while eating a candy bar. That was how they auditioned for the role.
That makes sense.
Yep,
that she did that lots.
She did a lot of staring.
Yes.
Chad, what else did you have?
Jonathan Tiersten, who was given the role of Ricky after an unusual audition in which the writer-director Robert Hiltzik asked Jonathan to curse him out.
Yeah.
and Ricky did have like some of the best curse outs in this movie.
Yes,
like,
he did.
Yeah, when he gets going, it's pretty pretty wild.
Yeah. So one thing that was in the director's commentary and some of the notes was there's a bit of disagreement over Desiree Gold, the mother.
Oh, yeah.
She initially wanted to leave the film, finding Aunt Martha's dialogue too bizarre to say with a straight face.
Oh.
But the director responded with, "You're going to do this role if I have to mime the words for you." But then she later said it was a fantastic experience. But in the director's commentary, almost all three, when they talk about Aunt Martha's acting, they say like that was the actor's choice. And so
Really?
Desiree Gold is like, "No, I didn't want to do it that way, but eventually enjoyed it." Whereas they're saying like, "No, that's
That
what
was her
she brought
choice.
to the
That's
role."
what she wanted to.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because she probably got panned for it.
Lambasted for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And she was like, "Oh, I was told to do it that way."
Oh, probably. That
Yeah.
makes so much sense.
And then the last one, just because Felissa Rose's mother had issues with her daughter being 13 and being like in murder scenes, Jonathan Tiersten, who plays Ricky, was the stand-in. So it was his hands that you saw holding the knife or pulling the chair. And in the scene,
It was definitely, which was confusing. It was definitely his hands on the chair. Because I remember when I first watched it, I was like, "Oh, Ricky's killing everybody."
Yeah.
But then it, becomes obvious that it's not Ricky. But
and the scene where he goes into the cabin to kill Judy, like that's clearly a male physique,
Yes.
like standing in the doorway in a bad wig. Yeah.
Did you know that Felissa Rose was paid $5,000 for her performance?
Wow.
What is that in today's money? Can we look that up?
So equivalent in purchasing power would be about $15,843.
It's not a lot of money
No.
for being the main killer
Yeah.
/ character of this whole film.
Yeah.
Like maybe because she was 13, they felt like they
could
didn't
get
have
away
to
with it.
pay her as much. But yeah, it's not a lot of cash.
I'm just going to finish off with the international titles. Most of them just had to do with like Sleepaway Camp, Summer Camp, whatever. But China, just Bloody Death Camp.
Yep.
Germany was Bloody Summer. Hungary called it Angel of Death.
Oh,
UK title was Nightmare Vacation. And then Japan's Summer Camp Inferno.
Where is there an
There's
inferno?
0
I don't know.
infernos. Cool.
All right then.
Yeah.
I wonder if those international areas, if they showed everything,
I don't know.
because that reveal would have been really, really controversial at that time, right?
Yes.
So, like, I never watched this in 1983. I never watched it in 1990. I didn't even see it until 2016 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Interesting.
It's time to put this onto our watchability scale, and I'll go first. I'm going to give it a 7 for a first time watch. I think people should check it out. Hopefully you all did before you had it spoiled, because if you know the ending, then it's a 4. But this movie's just an adventure and a roller coaster ride that pays off at the end. So yeah, for me, it's a 7. Sam?
Yeah, I'm going between the 6 and the 7. I'm probably going to leave it at a 6. I think it's something that you should check out, but just because of the fact that it's not one I would watch again, I don't think. So I think I'll leave it at the 6.
All right. And Chad?
Yeah, I'm waffling back and forth between the 6 and the 7. As much as I ranted about the film, I do remember in the first one, when I first watched it, I did enjoy it. You know what? I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to say it's really worth checking out, and you should. And yeah, hopefully you turned it off and then you listened to us after you watched it, because the reveal is really the biggest part of the film. You have to be shocked by it, otherwise it's just okay, here it is.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It's just a dumb slasher.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I'd say it's good fun. So yeah, I'll give it a 7.
All right, thank you. And thank you very much for listening to us. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamsandstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and a page where you can recommend movies you want us to discuss. And please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Mike and
Sam
and
Chad.
Scare you later.